So now that minicamp has passed for the Carolina Panthers, the cat is out the bag. We saw Cam Newton throw for the first time in a while. We also saw him reveal his new and improved throwing motion. But Ron Rivera came out this week in an interview and saying that Cam's timing with his wide receiver is going to be a work in progress. So in this video, we're going to talk about the expectations for Cam Newton in this 2019-2020 season. Are we expecting too much for Cam? Are we being realistic? Where are we at right now? But we're starting right now. My name is Aaron Duckett with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, and I start off every video by saying, what up, dude? This is the channel where I might not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm definitely going to tell you what you need to hear. And I give recap and analysis of the best division in the NFL, the NFC South. So if you want to see more videos about the Panthers, the Bucks, the Saints, or the Falcons, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and give the video a thumbs up. And make sure you hit the bell icon when you hit the subscribe button. That way you get a notification every time I drop a video, because sometimes YouTube just be tripping, they be play hating, whatever you want to say, and they don't always send out the notifications when I drop a video. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you hit that bell icon too after you hit subscribe. But hey, real quick, down below in the comments, let me know, what are your expectations for Cam Newton this season? Do you expect a big year from him? Are you kind of tapering your expectations because he's going to be coming off injury? Do you expect to see MVP Cam back? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. So if you're a Panthers fan, it probably hurt your feelings to watch Cam down the stretch of last year like it did me. You know what I'm saying? You can question Cam's accuracy all you want, but arm strength has never been an issue for him. So when we saw him throwing more bounce passes, skip passes than the NBA Finals, we knew something had to be wrong with his arm and his shoulder, and it was only a matter of time before they had to take him and sit him down. So with him having new rehab and coming along slowly throwing the football anyway, doctors and coaches and himself took it upon them to change his throwing motion, since he had to learn how to throw all over again anyway with the recovery and cleanup of that shoulder. So having that new tight throwing motion should make him more efficient and take a lot more pressure off of his shoulder, because he'll be using his hips and his legs to throw more instead of just throwing from his upper body. So many Canada reports that Cam was throwing short and mid-range passes, but they never really unleashed him yet to see what he could do, because they just wanted to take it easy on that shoulder and check all the boxes that the doctor wanted to see. And like I said before, with him only being able to do that limited amount of stuff, the timing with the wide receiver is going to be a work in progress. And that raised a lot of questions for me. And since it's a slow time of the year, we got to dive into it and, of course, overreact to the statement. Well, with preseason about 40 to 50 days away, should the work in progress quote be of concern to us Panthers fans, because this is the time of year when you want to sharpen those skills and get everything ready. But these are a few things you should keep in mind when it comes to this thing and the timing of everything going along. Cam does have a few new wide receivers. We let go of Devin Funchess, of course, and DJ Moore will be getting a lot more playing time and assuming that number one wide receiver role, along with Curtis Samuel probably being in that number two position. And remember, Cam Newton didn't practice a whole ton of a lot last year anyway, so building up that repetition and that chemistry with those guys was going to be a work in progress regardless. Not to mention, Cam is just getting used to his throw motion. This guy's been throwing for as long as he's been playing quarterback, which has probably been his whole life, throwing a certain way. And for them to change that, it's going to take a lot for him to get used to and for the muscle memory to go away from what he used to throw and get into a new state of mind. And since that throwing motion is a little bit tighter and quicker, we know how Cam used to throw before, where he kind of wound up and put his whole arm into it, but the timing is a little bit different. When you have a quicker release and the ball's coming out faster, you have to be able to anticipate where the wide receivers are at a different tempo than you was with the longer throwing motion. So mentally, you have to get used to seeing where a guy is and how fast that ball's going to come out your hand. Just as new as it is to him, it's just as new to the wide receiver. So getting that chemistry together is going to be a work in progress. My only concern is, when will they be able to actually build up this? Because I know it's 5 weeks out from training camp and he may not have too many restrictions during camp, but Cam usually has a little retreat with some of his weapons that you probably saw on his Instagram or whatever last year, that he gets a chance to build up with those guys and they get away, they have a vacation, they work out together, they throw routes together. But I'm sure that the doctors and the team trainers will probably have Cam on some type of restriction that he probably won't be able to do that on his own. That way they can monitor what he's doing and he won't overdo it on his own and try to kill himself. Because a lot of times, like we saw in the NBA Finals, the job of the team doctors is to protect players from themselves. They want to be tough guys. They want to fight through the pain. They want to practice. They want to get better. But the doctors know what's good for them, and they have to tell them to draw those reins back. So will Cam be able to get together with everybody in that pre-training camp retreat and get that timing down? I'm not exactly sure. So that'll be one thing you need to pay attention to. So for me, the hope is that training camp will be plenty of time for Cam to get that timing down with those guys and still be able to rehab and stay on schedule with everything and not have any setbacks when it comes to keeping that arm strong and healthy. Since DJ Moore will be the new number 1 wide receiver, they are going to need some extra time to build up that level of comfortability and chemistry and know-how just to make sure they're on the same accord and on the same page. However, we do know that Cam likes to spread the ball around, so maybe building up that repertoire with the number 1 wide receiver may not be at the end of the world. But at the same time, if he doesn't have a favorite wide receiver and he pretty much spreads it around, it's going to take more time and more work to build up a little bit of cachet with all 4 or 5 of the weapons that they have, because we know they got Greg Olsen, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Torrey Smith. Ian Thomas may get some playing time. So who knows what's going to happen there? Not to mention the addition of Chris Hogan. I can't forget about the Caucasian sensation. So we'll see what happens as Cam builds up that chemistry. But you guys let me know, do you think that they should be worried about him not being on the same page yet with the wide receivers and it being in work in progress? Let me know down below in the comments and let me know what you expect from Cam this year. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. Like I said, make sure you hit the bell icon. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get a video thumbs up or the thumbs down if you didn't like it. Either way, just let your boy know. But without further ado, I'm signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.